Today we are back with another community member gameplay review where we break down gameplay that was submitted by a member of the community. Gameplay that probably looks a little bit more similar to yours. Now I get asked all the time, Joe, what is the best game mode to improve? How do I go about improving quickly? And if you are subscribed, you know that my answer every single time is playing solo duos. It's hands down the best game mode to improve, and here's why. It's going to force you to execute better. It's going to force you to improve your decision making. You're going to have to learn how to approach teams, you know, when to push versus when not to push. And 2 is manageable. If you can't 1v2, you're never going to be able to 1v3 and 1v4. Now today, we are breaking down gameplay here from Punt, one of the longest running members of the community. He's played solo duos a ton, and he pieces together a really good all-around solo duos game here. It's not perfect, so we'll talk about some of the mistakes that he makes, but really focusing on things that he does well. 2 things that I want to note here. First things first, he lands control hot. We obviously see the pistol shots on the rooftop, so we know that there's teams above on the other side. Number 2 is playing solo duos. As soon as we get that 3,700 or that, I guess that 2,500 to buy a gun, go buy your SMG. You know, if you know that you're landing hot and there's people around, he's going to buy his BP-50 right here, which is what he's most comfortable with, and now he has that comfortability and that advantage when fighting in these close quarters. Now, when we talk about fighting outnumbered, guys, a big component of this is acting on information and taking your 1v1 fights. So you're going to see it right here, just very easy kill right there because he has the portable radar, good shots. Now, here's how we break this down. If you have no information, okay, so we're going to talk about approaching fights. If you have no information, you play positioning, okay? If you have information, okay, and it's 2, you've got to play positioning. Okay. Now, the biggest thing that a lot of you struggle with is if you have information and it's 1, you need to go immediately. Like, do not hesitate to take your 1v1 fights, because what ends up happening is a lot of times you guys slow down and you don't make that quick decision. You can see Punt right here, immediately just working his way down, doesn't hesitate on this 1v1 fight. Anytime you're in a 1v1 fight, like, that should be winnable. If it's not winnable, then there's a bigger conversation to be had about your aim and movement and what you're doing in those gunfights. But for the most part, when we have that information just based on basic anticipation, basic centering, which I do have a full video coming soon on centering, you know, 1v1, awkward fight, he takes a lot of damage, but this is an important lesson to be learned. When we take our 1v1 fights, right, instead of pushing 2 enemies who are right on top of each other, it does not matter how much damage we take, right? Because enemy number 2 is not close by. We're not dealing with teammates who are very close together. Now, if we do deal with teammates that are close together, we've got to play positioning and try to get that initial down. And we'll kind of talk about all of these things throughout. Real quick, by the way, before we really get into this, 60% of the people that watch my videos so far in June are not subscribed. So if you are looking to get better at Rebirth Island, start dropping more kills, especially as we're headed into Black Ops here in that Warzone integration. Take a second, make sure you are subscribed down below. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Little bit aggressive to push here. I've not watched this through very much, by the way, so we're just going to kind of keep watching this. I probably would have tried to get out here. As soon as I saw this breacher drone, and here's why. As soon as we see this, I try to kind of tuck back behind this corner where I came from. Why? Because we don't know how many enemies there are. Right? Is it 1 or is it 2? If it's 2, you're dead here. If it's 1, yeah, we have a chance, but we have no idea because we don't have that information. And that's where kind of information affects decision making. Yeah, great. We get this guy right here. But what if enemy number 2 the whole time was kind of pushing and ends up right around this corner? Then we're dead. So when we don't have that information about how many it is, I try to make the smart decision as much as possible. As soon as we're replated, we can always go re-engage that guy. By the way, look down low over to your right side, right? So once again, information, we should be able to... He's not plated yet. He's got a plate. This is a big thing, guys. As soon as you get this kill, keep in mind that the first thing that I do is start plating, right? So as soon as I get this down and this... Yep, check it. Thirst. I'm checking Minimap right now. The moment I see that nobody's kind of around me, although this guy to the right side here kind of looks like he's a little bit close, but I don't think he's right on this stairwell here. You got to start plating immediately. What ends up happening is a lot of you guys get distracted by information, and you can look at information. I can see that there's people outside here as I'm plating up, but a lot of you guys end up forgetting to do it, and then it ends up costing you a little bit later on. Simple mistake. It's not something I harp on too much because I forget to plate sometimes. I told you I didn't watch it. But, like, that's what ends up happening. He should have won that gunfight, to be honest with you. He would have won that gunfight had he had plates in. Just a little bit unfortunate is what it is. Biggest thing I notice here, guys, is flying back in. The little bit aggressive flying back in, but this is the biggest thing that I noticed, guys. When you fly back in, pay attention to your cash flow. Again, team dynamic versus solo duos is a little bit different, but right here, we can technically buy our secondary, right? And we're pretty close to being able to buy our primary as well. But technically speaking, he probably could have landed back in over here at control, bought his BP-50, pushed, maybe a plate or two, and then pushed right back in there, knowing that we have the information, right? We're not 100% sure if there's people in prison. Obviously we see the weapon pings on the minimap, which, guys, when it comes to information right here, like, this is the information that we act on once we're feeling a little bit more confident about the guns that we have and stuff like that. We push right up to the rooftop. We obviously know these guys are close in a tough spot. That's where we need to remember information, remember how many, remember where teams are fighting. We get a loadout crate right there. Perfect. Okay. So it ends up working out well. Biggest thing, though, is don't be afraid to, kind of land back in where you died, especially if you're playing solo duos, and, kind of push right back in based on the information that we have, because we know there's people there. Let's see what he does from here. Now, right here, like, this is an interesting one. I'll give you guys a little gameplay tidbit here. Little gameplay strategy tidbit. Actually, there's two things that I would say here. Number one is look at his cash flow, right? Now, when we talk about cash flow here, loadout is 7.5. Okay, so I'd be really tempted to kind of loot up in this little courtyard area, see if I can get to this buy station, throw a loadout down, at which point I have a regain, right? At that point, we have this loadout, and let's hypothetically say the free loadout's over here. So now all of a sudden, we've kind of set our regain up because we have two loadouts that we can potentially hit. The other thing that I would say, which could give him loadout and that another loadout as well, right? So this biometric scanner here could give him the loadout, because if he gets a silver or above, he gets his perk package lethals and tacticals right here, right? That basically gives us loadout because we have our loadout guns already. Plus, when he trades it in, he would then have enough cash to be able to throw this loadout down right here. Just some gameplay strategy stuff there that I'm always thinking about and always recognizing, knowing that I can take advantage of that biometric scanner. And look, regaining is an area that a lot of you struggle. I hear it all the time. Joe, I'm constantly struggling to regain. So let's set that up ahead of time, not just have the free loadout. Not all have to hit the free loadout and then it disappears. Especially playing solo duos, we only get to hit the loadout once. Really good job here acting on the information of people up top. Patience, okay? So we know there's multiple here. Really good patience. And what's the one thing you notice? This guy that he's chasing right now does not have high alert. Good execution. Don't worry about that guy. Immediately go for enemy number 2. Nice. Pressure's on them to revive. Switch and go. Perfect. It's this guy right here. Reknock. Yep, that's fine. He has no plates. Oh, this guy's going to finesse him hard. This guy's just chase. Oh, my gosh. That's unfortunate. But he played that well. He just needed to act a little bit quicker on that reknock right there. Now, this guy should be downed inside here. Good job right there. Where's the information? Backside. Let's work there immediately. He's down in showers, right? That's the next piece we can act on. By the way, I will say, like, he didn't end up with those 2 kills on the roof, but he played that perfectly. You can't worry about that thirst immediately, or else enemy number 2 kills you. Got to challenge enemy number 2, get that down, and then go for that reknock. So a little bit unfortunate there. I thought he actually played that really well. And, when I'm coaching, a lot of times I do say there's times you play a situation really well, and it just doesn't work out in your favor. Both of them had self-revive. It is what it is. That's not always going to be the case. This guy should be in showers here. Based on the minimap ping, because he was down below, so I'd go work and clear showers right here. By the way, he does end up with a 20+ kill win. Good job catching him off guard. Where's enemy number 2? Uh-oh, you're in a tough spot here. Nice. Okay, we'll take the kill. Not exactly clean. I don't think he always gets away with that because he obviously was in a straight-up 50-50 with low health here. But I think at the end of the day, just you can't worry about this thirst just yet. What I would have done here is slid through. Okay, so keep in mind, we have this cover. And basically, honestly, instead of full committing to that, I would have probably tried to get to this spot sooner, right? As soon as I get that down, because then I can get the thirst. We don't take nearly as much damage, at which point we can then challenge enemy number 2 there. Yeah, that's one that he doesn't always get away with, but he definitely got away with it there. Not a clean first down. You just got to worry about that cover and can't worry about that thirst so much. Especially, that's another one, guys. If you're unsure, make sure you're aware of where your cover is and, you can break lines of sight. Always be thinking about that second enemy. No information, but we do have $10,000. Other thing that I'm noticing here is look at our circle, right? So we know that there were a bunch of people on the other side. You know, there are people control. There's going to be people tower. There's probably people rotating up. Yeah, we can see it right now. See it on the minimap? This is where we constantly got to check minimap throughout because now we know there's people over here. Let's see what he does from here. I know what I would do. I want you to think about what you would do. This isn't going to be a full decision-making video like I do sometimes, but I want you to think about what you would do here. Nice little zip line trick there to kind of check it and not overcommit. Yeah, he missed that weapon ping to the right side. Yep. Somebody's floating around here. Just be careful here, because you don't know if it's one or two. Nice. Keep centering. Nice. Perfect. Where's enemy number 2? And he's got the FJX here, which does use... It's a very fast fire rate. It does make it easier to use, but... Look at people down here, right? We can't miss this. Can't miss this right here. Gotta see this information. I think this is a great example, though, of, like, you can piece together a 20-kill game. You look at this, and at the very beginning, I said, guys, gameplay that probably looks a little bit more like yours. You know, he's not flying around the map like crazy, you know, trying to drop this 40-kill game. Like, he's just kind of taking his fights one at a time, really separating teams. He should go by, going back to what I asked you earlier, what should you do? He should go by Yui here. He should buy Yui right here. I would still... Did he hear this guy? I think he heard this guy. Oh, I don't know if he did or not, though. He just got caught off guard there. Yep, start plating. Yeah. And he does not have quick fix. So that's actually important to note. We need to go get UAV here. Like, we need to go get information. This is what happens to a lot of you guys. Because here's the thing, it takes literally 1 second to buy a UAV, but what if I told you when he pops a UAV that there's people here, 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 right? Like, all of a sudden, we are literally in the middle of everybody, and without a UAV, we have no idea. Now, I don't think that's the case necessarily, but yeah, like, I want to know, are people rotating in? Because with people rotating in, if there's a team here and a team here, like, I'm in a pretty good spot here if I can get up to the rooftop to just hold these two teams out. I also know that they're probably going to fight each other. So definitely need to, like, recognize that cash flow, have that cash flow awareness. You know, that should be a check throughout the game. You obviously know right now in this moment, you don't need loadout guns. You don't need perk package. You don't have lethals and tacticals at the moment. There's two guys. Good shots. Nice. One of them has self. That's unfortunate. I think he just walked by his Semtex too. Just worry about the one. Just worry about that guy. Nice. Ah, this is going to be tough. They still have to rotate to you, though. Nope, keep an eye on them. Yeah, they've got to push right here. Where are they? Yeah, there they are. Nice. Nice. Perfect. There's I think a lot of you guys probably end up pushing that. There's no need to, right? This is where I talk about if you rotate early. By the way, think about the drawing I just put on the minimap. Like, I literally outlined this exact thing right here. This is where it gets easy. They can't rotate low. They can't rotate down this way because there's obviously people fighting over here that they see, so they can't rotate that way. They kind of have to push right into you. When we put ourselves in circle or close to circle with high ground and we have cover, we're in the power position. These are very low risk, high reward, easy kills for a punt. And just like that, we're up to 10 here. Now, if you guys are subscribing, you know I talk about 4-4-6-6. Actually, in duos... In solos and duos, it's 6-6-4-4. 6 kills in the first, 6 kills in the second, 4 kills in the third, 4 kills in endgame because the lobbies die so fast. In trios and quads, you can get away with 4-4-6-6. Okay. Circle pulls pretty far, but we can technically stay top prison. Good job shouldering that right there. You obviously see... This is 2 teams. There's a guy all the way back. Then there's 2 guys close, I think. There is 2 guys close. Good job right there. Check your information. There's another guy, though. This is where we piece it together, right? Let's see. Yep. And he's just playing his cover well. Good job shouldering that corner here. Notice he's not just sitting here, right? He's checking for information. When he peeks this corner, just this little peek right here, he can see if there's an enemy up top. A lot of you guys don't do that. A lot of you guys just sit, you plate, you reload, you're not checking here. But that allows him to see if this guy's pushing. And notice he did catch that pink skin kind of pushing towards him, which is how he knew he was there. Nice little reposition here. Just playing patient because he doesn't know where he doesn't know where... Oh, he saw the weapon ping. He knows he's right around the corner. He's right around the corner from that AC unit. But he didn't check it. See, this is where we piece it together, right? Always remember that when we hear weapon pings, like the minimap, I always say is an extension of audio. So I'm not 100% sure. We know he's over here somewhere. We just don't know. I need to go back. Yeah, right here. We're not 100% sure, right? We're checking. We have cover. Boom. I heard the shots. Look at the minimap, right? So you can see on the minimap exactly where this enemy is. You know that he is right behind this AC unit, so we can immediately go push, challenge this guy with the FJX. What do we got here? And this should be a 1v1 fight. You can also technically play it from AR this way, right? You can technically, if you don't want to just challenge this guy head on with the FJX, you can push towards like this corner right here and see if you can get that angle across to be able to shoot that guy. That's okay. He's just sneaking up. That's fine. Use it to our advantage. But he's got the wrong gun out. Yeah. Notice how, okay. So what's the one thing I should say here? Again, I told you I didn't watch this. Pushing versus getting pushed, right? If I tell you, and I know Punt very well, and he would say the same thing. You know this guy's around the corner. So just go center your crosshairs, get the first shot off, and trust your ability to use aim and movement to win the gunfight. But what happens? He doesn't push the enemy. He waits. Now all of a sudden, when this guy turns, we get a little bit of an unfortunate COD timing. But not only is not, instead of us knowing that guy's sitting in the corner and us basically getting the easy kill, now he's jumping, right? He's using movement. We've got to track him. We've got to execute. We've got to be a little bit more perfect. FJX doesn't have a big mag. And we end up going down to this guy right here, right? So that is why when we know it's that 1v1 fight, like let's push that quickly. You know, don't hesitate on those 1v1s. Take those 1v1s as quick as possible. Because a lot of times, two things happen, guys, when we talk about stacking, right? And look, stacking's part of the game, guys. I'm not going to sit here. Yes, it's frustrating, but it's part of the game. Good shots there. That's a big component. One of the biggest components, and this is something I was actually going to say in terms of stacking, is missed opportunities. If you're playing with a teammate, what's the first thing that you do when you get shot at? Oh, I just got shot. There's somebody on me. And what happens? Those teammates come right with you, right? No matter what game mode you're playing, they push towards you, and now you're stacking. Same thing happens on the other end. If you give teams an opportunity, they're going to take it. The second thing, though, is just not pushing quick enough, right? So eventually teams get back together. It's part of that team dynamic. It's, you know, whether they're trading cash or trading ammo or trading plates or they're just rotating somewhere. Like when we see that 1v1 fight, the longer we wait, you know, the more likely they are to get back together, at which point we missed our opportunity to take that easy 1v1 fight where, hey, like if we take the 1v1 fight, we don't have to be perfect, right? Now all of a sudden we're going into a 1v2 where we do, because they're close together, we have to be more perfect. So just trying to like, that's one of the biggest things. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm like, play solo duos and take your ones. But I'll be honest, guys, even in trios and quads, like that's my biggest focus. My biggest focus is taking my ones as much as possible. And then of course, changing my pace if I'm fighting multiple enemies. Once again, great position here. Low risk, high reward. Playing positioning, has his high ground, has his cover. This guy's gotta, there he is. I was good, like, this guy's gotta push out at some point. Holy smokes. Nice. Yeah, I'd be tempted to go back in here for some loot. Just because, to get reset. Where's that gas mask? Yeah, just be really careful. But what do you notice here? Cash flow. I mean, we have enough for we should have enough for self UAV and gas mask. If not, we're gonna be like really, really close. UAV. If we're gonna pop the UAV, we gotta see what it does, right? Like, if we're gonna pop, I'm okay with him popping a UAV right here, but like, give it a half second. Because again, hypothetically speaking, what if I told you that there were teams in here? Like, now all of a sudden we're sitting on the buy station and we die because we had a UAV up. We knew there were two enemies in here, but we, you know what I mean? Like, check that UAV before you go in and buy. He went another. I would have set myself up for endgame there. Love the fact that he's thinking about the information component, but hey, right here, playing solo duos, we got 14 kills. We're headed into respawn disabled. Let's go gas mask. Let's go self-revive. Let's make sure we're in a great spot to set ourselves up for endgame. Yeah, you have 3 teams here. People are very close together, but there's our one, right? There's the one. Just be careful because you know that teammate's close. That's a different team. It's a different team. How do you know that's a different team? What's the biggest thing? As soon as I see this guy shooting at this enemy, right? I know that's a different team, which means, technically speaking, right? If we have, now all of a sudden we're dealing with 4 enemies, okay? Because we're dealing with this guy over here. We're dealing with this enemy right here. Now, this enemy is downed, which means we've got to worry about this guy. We've got to worry about this guy after we take out this guy. That's kind of how that all pieces together, and those are the little things that you got to piece together. Or I could be totally wrong, and that guy to the left just has self-revive. I've got no idea, but that's, well, no, because he was shooting at him. So that's how I'm piecing that whole thing together. Yep, that guy's still in, yeah, there you go. Has self, jump. Good job playing positioning right there. Not being too over-aggressive. 2 enemies above. I'm going to assume that both of those enemies are above, even though one is technically on bird's eye. And then multiple enemies across. Again, really notice he's just piecing this game together. You know, just kind of piecing it together. Not having to play too crazy. I would like to see him start to work on hitting high damage areas. That's the biggest thing that allows you. Centering and high damage areas are 2 things that will allow you to take less damage just based on having a faster time to kill. And then, of course, I think his movement's fine. He's strafing well. He's... Easy kill. That's an easy... His shots with the MTZ look great. His shots with the MTZ look really good. Still people above and kind of a brutal rotation here. I don't want to see him rotate late, but this is where he doesn't have a gas mask, so he's got to be careful here. Yep, I'm okay with the low rotation here. There should be people to your left, though. Be careful. I'm still assuming that those guys that were above are still up here. I'm not 100% sold that they've left yet. And that's where we have to remember information, which Punt did perfectly here. There you go. Yep. Just still be careful of the... Okay, so they drop... Oh, no, that's aggressive. Good third party. But might be worried about enemy number 2. Okay, good. Got the wipe. That's aggressive. I would have just played up top here. Just play up top and play your positioning, and then they have to rotate to you. Right? If you play like right on this corner, you've got to be aware of up top here, bio, because you can get shot, but you should have the angle to easily shoot that way, especially because, technically speaking, if you look at it, they have to get to, like, right here, right? So, literally, this whole area is, like, free kills because they have to rotate directly to you. So, a little bit aggressive there to drop down, especially dropping down what turns out to be multiple teams, right? You know, so just got to be careful of that end game. If we get shot in the back by somebody pushing through tunnel to our left side right here, we get caught in a bad spot, but we'll take it. 4 enemies left, so basic math here, guys. There's 1 full team, and then everybody else is solos. Team above him. No, he's on his level. See that right there, guys? This is a big thing with a lot of you. Notice the vertical recoil control. You have good vertical recoil control. Watch Punt. The line doesn't change. It's right here. Now, what we need to do is get it to here. Wrong color. What we need to do is get it to, like, here and here. Watch. Right? See how he does it with the jump. He gets close there with the jump, but it's not... I would like to see him just start higher. Just getting those crosshairs up. You can see him right now, right? See how his crosshairs are pulled down? So if you did make it this far, you got a nice little big bonus tip right there. With centering and just forcing those crosshairs higher. It's just going to allow you to hit those. If you hit a headshot first or second, then you really don't have to worry about anything else to get a fast TTK. If you start at the stomach, then you have to let the recoil go. You have to... he needs to get rooftop here. He needs to immediately get rooftop here. I think there should be a zip or something over to... There's some way to get to the rooftop up here that he needs to do. And then, essentially, he can just hold everybody out of circle. But if you mix in that headshot first, you get a fast TTK no matter where you hit after that. But if you hit stomach shots first, then you got to find a way to mix in the headshot as you're tracking the enemy, as you're using movement, stuff like that. His shots with the MTZ look great. Take out that, thirst that, take him out, and then you can worry about everything else. Nice. Oh, that's a 1v2. That's the win. Yeah, they killed the other guy. Yeah, only reason I would have thirsted that, guys, is to just take him out of the fight. Just completely take him out. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Information, take your 1v1 fights. If it's multiple enemies or you're unsure of how many enemies there are, slow it down, play your positioning, try to get that down, and then go ahead and push from there. As I always say, guys, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.